The topic of the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein is one of the most controversial and widely discussed political social topics in the United States in recent years. The reason for this is not only Epstein's criminal history, but also the fact that many public figures from politics, finance, and entertainment were part of his social circle. In this context, Donald Trump's name often appears in media reports, court documents, and political debates. It is important at the outset to clearly distinguish between documented facts, public statements, media reports, and unverified or disputed claims. This script aims to provide a chronological and contextual overview of Trump and Epstein's relationship without drawing conclusions that are not supported by official sources or court rulings. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier who, during the 1990s and early 2000s, moved in elite social circles in New York, Palm Beach, and other locations. During the same period, Donald Trump was known as a business magnate and real estate owner, with a strong presence in the media and high society. Their paths intersected in the context of social events, clubs, and mutual acquaintances. Trump publicly stated multiple times that he knew Epstein, but that they were never close friends in later years. In a 2002 interview with New York Magazine, Trump said he had known Epstein for about 15 years. This statement suggests they first met in the late 1980s. In the same interview, Trump spoke positively of Epstein, which was later frequently cited in the media after Epstein's arrest. During the 1990s, Epstein was occasionally present at Trump's private club, Mar-a-Lago in Florida. Mar-a-Lago at that time functioned as an exclusive social club, a gathering place for wealthy and influential individuals. Epstein's presence at the club was not unusual given his social status and financial influence. One event often mentioned in connection with their relationship occurred in 1992 when Mar-a-Lago hosted a social event. According to the organizer's testimony, the only guests at the event were Trump and Epstein. This event was later frequently cited as evidence of their closeness at the time, although the event itself was never the subject of legal proceedings. By the early 2000s, according to multiple sources, the relationship between Trump and Epstein began to deteriorate. Trump later stated that the reason was business-related, including disputes over real estate and disagreements concerning staff at Mar-a-Lago. The exact dates and circumstances of the cooling of their relationship are not fully clear, and available sources differ on some details. In 2003, Epstein celebrated his 50th birthday, for which an album of greetings from prominent people in his circle was compiled. According to the Wall Street Journal, Donald Trump was one of the signatories of a message in the album. Trump later denied authoring a specific message attributed to him, which further fueled public debate over the authenticity of the material. In the following years, Epstein increasingly faced legal problems. His 2007 indictment marked a turning point in how the public perceived his earlier social connections. During this period, Trump stated that he had already distanced himself from Epstein and had no contact with him in the years leading up to the arrest. This distancing became an important part of Trump's public narrative about Epstein, especially during his presidential campaign and later during his term in office. At the same time, journalists, researchers, and political opponents continued to analyze earlier statements, photographs, and documents in an attempt to determine the true nature of their relationship. Cooling of relationship in the period after 2007. As the years approached the mid-2000s, available sources indicate that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein's social and business relations had significantly changed. Although they had previously moved in similar circles, their communication and contact became less frequent, and according to Trump's later statements, it was completely cut off. Trump repeatedly claimed that Epstein lost access to Mar-a-Lago due to behavior inconsistent with the club's rules. According to Trump, the decision to revoke Epstein's membership was made before Epstein's criminal issues became publicly known. However, some journalists and book authors note that this move coincided with the period when allegations against Epstein began to emerge in the public. In 2007, Epstein was formally charged with criminal offenses, which drew significant media attention. At that time, many public figures who had previously been associated with him began to publicly distance themselves. Trump stated that he had not been in contact with Epstein for many years and was not aware of his illegal activities during the period when they socialized. It is important to emphasize that during this period, no criminal proceedings were initiated against Trump in connection with Epstein's case. No court documents from that time contain formal accusations implicating Trump in Epstein's criminal acts. In the following years, Epstein's case occasionally faded from public attention until his rearrest in 2019. By that time, Trump was already president of the United States. His earlier statements about Epstein were re-examined, and the media put them in the context of new information coming to light. During 2019, Trump was asked about Epstein in several public appearances and interviews. On these occasions, he reiterated that he was not close to Epstein and that he had disagreements with him long before the criminal charges became known. He also emphasized that he had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes while they socialized. Media attention was further intensified due to photographs and videos from the 1990s showing Trump and Epstein at social events. While these materials confirmed that they knew each other and spent time in the same social circles, they did not, on their own, constitute evidence of illegal activity. During the same period, attorneys representing some of Epstein's victims gave statements to the media describing the broader social context of Epstein's actions. In these statements, Trump was mentioned regarding his acquaintance with Epstein, but there were no claims supported by court evidence linking him to criminal activity. A significant part of the public debate focused on whether prior social contacts were sufficient to imply responsibility. Legal experts often emphasize the distinction between social acquaintance and legal liability, noting that the latter requires concrete evidence in judicial findings. During Trump's presidency, certain political actors and commentators used Epstein's case as part of broader political criticism. Trump, on the other hand, maintained that these were attempts at political discreditation and repeatedly stated that he supported investigations to clarify Epstein's activities while protecting the rights of innocent individuals. As public attention continued, questions about institutional transparency and the availability of documents related to Epstein became increasingly prominent. This issue became central in subsequent years, particularly regarding court decisions on the release of certain documents. The next part of the script will cover Epstein's rearrest, the release of court documents, the role of the Department of Justice and the FBI, and how the topic was used in political debates during and after Trump's presidency. Reopening of the case and public documents. In 2019, Jeffrey Epstein's case again captured worldwide public attention following his arrest on federal charges. This event triggered intense media interest, as well as renewed scrutiny of the relationships Epstein had with numerous public figures over previous decades. Among the names analyzed in media reports was Donald Trump. During this period, numerous court and investigative documents began to emerge publicly, either through court proceedings or transparency requests. It is important to note that in many of these documents, names appear in different contexts, as part of testimonies, contacts, or descriptions of social circumstances, without necessarily implying criminal responsibility. One key moment in the public debate was the release of portions of documents related to civil cases against Epstein's associates. These documents mentioned several well-known figures, including politicians, business people, and public figures. Legal experts warn that merely mentioning a name in documents does not constitute proof of guilt. Such records often serve as a record of statements or claims that still need verification. Donald Trump's name appeared in these documents primarily in the context of his prior social acquaintance with Epstein. There were no new charges, nor were any evidences released that would lead to criminal proceedings against him. Nevertheless, some segments of the public and media interpreted the document releases as a reason for further questions about the nature of their relationship. During 2024 and 2025, the release of additional documents reignited debates. U.S. institutions, including the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, stated that, based on available evidence, there was no basis to bring charges against unnamed third parties mentioned in the documents. It was also emphasized that there is no official or confirmed list of clients. During this period, Trump reiterated his previous stance, stating that he supports transparency and has no objection to the release of documents, provided that a clear distinction is made between established facts and unproven claims. His statements emphasized the presumption of innocence and the need for public discussion to be based on verifiable information. Media narratives, however, varied significantly depending on the political orientation of different outlets. While some insisted on a detailed examination of all Epstein's connections, others warned of the dangers of drawing conclusions without legal basis. This division further contributed to the polarization of public discourse. In a broader context, the Epstein case raised questions about institutional accountability, the way investigations are conducted, and the role of the media in shaping public opinion. Trump's relationship with Epstein has often been cited as an example of how difficult it is to draw a clear line between social connections and legal responsibility. The final part of this script summarizes key conclusions, separates confirmed facts from speculation, and explains why this topic continues to remain in the public sphere. Acquaintance, not accusation. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had social contacts in the past, which are documented in some media and legal records. But these did not result in charges or evidence of criminal liability for Trump. This distinction is crucial to emphasize in any analysis. Document releases. Court documents and transparency requests often include the names of various public figures. Legally, the mere mention of a name in a document does not imply guilt. It is part of the process of collecting information and statements. Media influence. The way media reported on the documents significantly shaped public opinion. Some outlets emphasized Trump's connection to Epstein, though no new charges were made, while others highlighted the importance of separating fact from speculation. Polarization in interpreting the documents further fueled public debate. Role of legal institutions. Official institutions, including the FBI and the Department of Justice, did not find grounds to initiate new charges against public figures linked to Epstein, except for those already under investigation or legal proceedings. This demonstrates how public perception and legal reality can differ significantly. Social and cultural context. The Epstein case sparked broader discussions about power, privilege, and how society treats individuals in influential positions. Connections to public figures, even when not criminal in nature, attract media and public attention, shaping perceptions of responsibility. Transparency versus speculation. It is essential to always distinguish between published facts and conjecture. In this case, the fact is that Trump and Epstein had contact. Speculation arises when that contact is interpreted as evidence of illegal or unethical activity without verified proof. The Epstein case is complex and multi-layered. While connections to public figures, including Donald Trump, have been extensively covered in the media, there are no publicly confirmed charges against Trump related to Epstein's criminal activities. The case serves as an important example of how legal documents, media reporting, and public perception can shape narratives differently. By understanding the legal distinction between social acquaintance and criminal liability, and by critically reading media sources, the public can gain a clearer picture of the facts without relying on unverified claims or speculation.